So, rumor. Nothing concrete, nothing set in stone, nothing 100%. It is a rumor, and I certainly hope it's not real. I certainly hope it is just a rumor and that it is not going to happen. Rumor. Lucasfilm developing young Indiana Jones movie. I honestly think with how bad the movies have been last 10 years, you had Dial of Destiny, Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. Yeah, just let Indy rest. I don't care if it's an older Indy or a previous younger incarnation. Just let him have his retirement. Just let him. If you want, reboot the series completely with a new actor, so that way, I mean, the series has been around for what, over 40 years. So get a nice, young, handsome guy, and then just have him stick around for 40 years. A young Indiana Jones movie is allegedly in development at the Walt Disney Company and Lucasfilm, according to Scooper WDW Pro. We're just gonna call him Pro. In a recent upload to his Pro YouTube channel, Scooper Pro shared that a young Indiana Jones movie is in development at Lucasfilm. He relayed, "I have a reliable source, my uncle who works at Nintendo." That's what it reminds me of. Well, I heard that you can get the Triforce in Ocarina of Time because my uncle who works at Nintendo, he told me that you can get the Triforce in Ocarina of Time. My cousin who works for Nintendo told me that in the original red and blue versions of Pokemon, there were other places you could actually get to, and there were Pokegods, but you had to do special things to get them. And my cousin didn't. My cousin who works in Nintendo didn't tell me what I had to do. He said you'll have fun figuring it out yourself. That sort. You remember those? You remember those? God, I'm old. I'm old. I'm old. Um, I have a source who has been right in the past and tells me that it appears Lucasfilm is doing some developing, shall we say, maybe some preliminary work on that it would look like to do a young Indiana Jones movie in which Indy would be around the age of 14, would clearly not be played by Harrison Ford. Well, why can't he? I would love to see a de-aged Harrison Ford to make him look 14 years old. That would be hilarious. I would pay just to see that, to see if they could be able to, if they would be able to pull that off, to take Indiana Jones and de-age him to the point where he looked 14. I would love that. And they may believe that that's young enough that it wouldn't be a problem for a character to not be played by Harrison Ford. I would love to see a de-aged Harrison Ford. That would be great. Pro then shared his own speculation. I suspect that what they're looking at is what if they adapted the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, which was a television series, I believe, back in the 90s. What if, or what if they just set out on their own? He then added, "I'm told that this would also be something that they're looking for post Kathleen Kennedy era at Lucasfilm. Indiana Jones franchise is coming off its worst performance at the box office with Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny, where he took backseat to a strong woman. The film grossed 170. Okay, the film only grossed 174.4 million domestically, and another 209.4 million internationally for a global gross of 389.9 million. Which also, what was the budget for it and what was marketing? So for people who don't know, there's the budget for the movie, what they have to use to make the movie, and then there's an entire different budget for marketing. That altogether makes the total budget for the movie. Um, so like you have a movie that takes like say budgets like we'll just even numbers 200 million. All right, the budget of the movie is 200 million, and then they spend another 100 million on marketing. That's 300 million. So they need at least 400 million or more to make profit. If it's 200 million, that's not good. If it's 300 million, that means they broke even. Still isn't good. So that 200 for the movie itself, and then that 100 for the marketing, they need to make more than that in order for it to be a success. So what was the budgeting? What was the budget for the movie, and what was marketing costs? Um, International global gross of 389.9 million. For comparison, Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull, a movie that showed you can apparently survive an atomic explosion by hiding in a refrigerator, grossed 317.1 million domestically and another 469.5 million internationally for a global gross of 786.6 million back in 2008 without even factoring in inflation. Because remember, back in 2008, the economy wasn't doing that great. So this is without factoring in inflation. Indiana Jones and the Lost Crusade grossed 197.1 million domestically and 277 million internationally for a global gross of 474.1 million in 1989. Again, those numbers do not factor in inflation. Oh, alpaca. Not only is Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny the worst performing Indiana Jones film of all time at the box office, but it also lost Lucasfilm and the Walt Disney Company at least 100 million. Caroline Reed at Forbes reported that the film failed to cover its costs at the box office, according to financial statements released on Friday, which shows that Disney spent 134.2 million or more a million more, not or more, on making the movie that is then it is understood to have received in ticket sales. However, it does not tell the whole picture. As Pro noted in March, the financial statements, which are released in the United Kingdom, do not include marketing costs. Pro speculated the marketing costs for the film likely cost at least 120 million, which means the film more than likely cost 234 million. How much did they say? No, no, it just said about what it grossed. It didn't say. What do you make? Well, yeah, no, sir, I don't like it. They don't have to reboot it, or not reboot it. They should just reboot the thing. You know, get a younger star to play Indiana Jones. I mean, look at that. Look at that. Look at that sexy man right there. They need someone. I mean, 1981. Jeez. 43 years. 43 years. That's insane. But just get a new actor and just say, hey, we're going to be making Indiana Jones movies and you're going to be Indiana Jones for the next 4 decades. You know, so unless something happens to them, that person will be Indiana Jones. And they can do exactly what Harrison Ford has been doing for the last 43 years. Um, I don't really think anyone really wants a young Indiana Jones. You know, watching him be all angsty and stuff as a 14-year-old. Um, when we think of Indiana Jones, you think Indiana Jones. You know, that whole cartoon, that's fine for it was like back in the 90s, but to make it into a movie, yeah, it doesn't work as well. I think we want fully grown adult Indiana Jones, maybe at the beginning of his whole adventure business, where he might mess up a few times, but he's not nearly as professional as he is now. See him make mistakes and stuff like that because he's just starting out. But yeah, a 14-year-old Indiana. No, I don't think that would be a real drawing point, you know? So just reboot the series completely if you need to. Get a younger actor, tell him he's going to be on this for about 40 years. Um and have it that. Um but if it was up to me, it would be nothing because, time years lately haven't been kind to or our good old friend Indy. So, I'd give him a break. Not just the actors, but the IP itself. Just give him a break. Um, like the last movie, I heard people complaining. It's like, well, it wasn't really even Indiana Jones. It's like Indy takes backseat to this chick. That's like that's not Indiana Jones. That's like James Bond taking being the side character. It's like no, it's James Bond. He doesn't take he's not a side character. He doesn't take backseat to a woman because she's strong. Um, you have strong women in those movies. Every one of his lovely ladies is very strong, outspoken. But they don't overshadow his character, and they don't, you know, emasculate him. Um, oh, you need to be put in your place, Mr. Bond, and I'm going to chastise you for, they don't do that. They don't do that. So that's one reason why I know people didn't like the movie too much because it was in Indiana Jones. It didn't feel like Indiana Jones. This dude was playing second fiddle to the chick. So, but a young Indy, I don't think people would be interested in seeing that. Again, a cartoon, that was fine back in the 90s because they had like Indiana Jones, they had Back to the Future cartoon, they had the Beetlejuice cartoon, and that works for its time. But, you know, nowadays, I mean, there was a Wonka movie. I mean, I don't even know how well it did. But it showed. But it's like one of those things. Like, did anyone really care about Willy Wonka's past? Where he ended up, and we saw some of his past in the Tim Burton movie. But it's like, do we really care where he came from and everything about his past? Most people don't. So, but I guess it's just me being tired of them taking characters and just ruining them. Just trying to squeeze out a little more of the IP. It's like it's the bottom of the barrel. It's like that last bit of toothpaste in the tube, and you're doing everything you can to squeeze that last little bit out. You're rolling it up and on trying to get out that last little bit, and that's what they're doing. They're just trying to squeeze out every little bit that they can. So, but anyway, let me know what you think about a young Indiana Jones movie. And would you love to see Harrison Ford de-age to 14 years old so that way he can continue doing this? Let me know below. You guys know the drill. I'll see you guys later. Bye, guys.